Hello, everybody. Welcome to an episode of Britball with the Breens in conjunction with our new company, Technical Sports Services. So we've had a few people asking over the last couple of weeks if our show is going to go on. Obviously, our show is based on British American football scores and results. So we're not really able to do it just now. So what we've decided to do is we've decided to do a little bit of information given on what we're doing as a company. So today what we're going to go through is we're going to go through some plays, break them down, discuss them, and then share them out so you guys can discuss them and see what you think of them. We've either used these or we've seen them used enough times in the NFL and college football to think that they're worthy of putting in here. So I'll just share a screen here. So, wait a minute, this has not worked here. So, this is obviously our show, as I said, in conjunction with Technical Sports Services. So, for information, just in case anybody watching doesn't know this, and it's quite possible that this is the case. The red zone these are our top 5 red zone pass plays. So the red zone is from the 20-yard line into the end zone. In the red zone, most defenses will revert from zone defenses to man-on-man cover one defenses. Obviously, this isn't the case all the time, but in an awful lot of circumstances, this is what happens. And then in the red zone, defenses tend to blitz much more to force the quarterback to throw quicker or to stop short runs. So it's a much more condensed area. We will go into it as we go through these plays. However, these 5 are plays that, as I say, we've seen work numerous times and we've had success with ourselves. So we thought we'd take you through some of them. So the first one we've called, I'll just move this over here, we've called safety first. Chris, why is it called safety first?
Well, this one's called safety first purely because the emphasis is on the free safety. As I say, generally in the red zone, it is a much shorter field. There is less of a threat of getting beat deep, and therefore teams kind of tend to condense everything down, as you said earlier, to stop short runs and to send more pressure. So things have to happen quickly. It's generally it'll be fairly straightforward to spot this. The cornerbacks will be a lot closer to the line of scrimmage. There'll be one safety identified in the middle, and as you kind of alluded to, there is much likely to be more heat from blitzes coming. So there needs to be sort of a primary plan and a backup plan. And this one, kind of your focus is really on that free safety across the middle. Like with any sort of man coverage, with one safety deep in the middle, he's got the entire field to cover himself. And that kind of means that there's a lot of space to work on the outside. So the main focus on this one in particular is to go to the corner route. That's being run by the slot receiver on the right-hand side of the formation. And in order to kind of make sure that that's the look you get, you've got a couple of routes running towards the middle of the field, basically to try and keep the safety where he is or move him away from that corner of the end zone you're looking for. But we'll start from left to right. Although this is a specific play, there's a few important things to kind of note about it. One of the most, prosperous things that you can sort of use in the red zone is this outside fade, is what we've got on the left-hand side. Now, there's kind of a multitude of ways you can approach this, but primarily the cornerback's not going to he's not going to give up the inside. So he's going to want to force the guy outside, and that's fine because that's kind of where we want to go. If he's sitting off and given a little bit of a cushion, this is where we want to use a back shoulder fade. So you kind of want to underthrow this basically, but with a lot more velocity on it. And it almost becomes like a basketball screenplay. So the receiver can kind of block out the defensive back, and the only way you can get to the ball is by coming through the back of the receiver. So you're either going to have a completion or pass interference, and either way works for you. If he's sitting a lot tighter, you kind of want to lull him in nice and close and then take the throw away to the back corner of the end zone. With any luck, this is kind of your mismatch. You've got your bigger receiver and your smaller defensive back. The slot receiver on the left, football's an unselfish game, and generally his job is a distraction. You almost want him to run a little bit skinnier than this sort of post route. You want him to be in the free safeties eye line the whole way through. And as I say, you are looking towards the opposite side. So if you can sort of skinny that up a little bit and drag him over, it's going to give you much more space to work with. However, if for whatever reason, maybe the defense has seen this on film and that safety cheats across, or they're going to go into cover 0 and leave no safeties, that's a great outlet across the middle, the shortest option, you take that. Then we get on to kind of our primary focus of this, and that's the corner route, the slot guy on the right-hand side. Again, generally what you're going to find is most defensive backs or linebackers aren't going to give up the inside. They're going to want to force guys to the outside. So you're quite happy to drag him inwards before going out to the back corner of the end zone, and this is that sort of back pylon throw. And generally, if you manage to freeze that safety in the middle, you're going to have this guy at the back corner, and it's going to be one of those where either your guy catches it or no one catches it. But to make sure that that space opens up, this is why you have the guy on the right-hand side of the formation, the outside receiver. Again, he's a distraction. His purpose is to drag his cornerback away and make sure that that side of the field is completely free for that primary route you're looking at. In the backfield, it's kind of up to you what you want to do with this. You can kind of keep him in for an extra man to protect. But realistically, you want an outlet. You want a dump off, something nice and quick, so that if something happens, something goes wrong, you've got a nice quick check down to take. Also, in man-on-man coverage, you're more likely going to see him sort of matched up with a linebacker, and that's a preferable matchup. Perhaps if you're a little bit further away from the goal line, you're quite happy to take that and get 5 yards and potentially let him make a man miss. So, there's a lot of options here. Again, if for whatever reason in the red zone they did drop into sort of a too high safety look, that's when you kind of revert back to that guy, the slot guy on the left-hand side, and take the post. So there are options there kind of in every scenario, but it allows the ball to come out quick. If you're expecting them to bring 5, it's about identifying where the extra rusher is going to come from, and that's going to leave you a hole behind as well.
I guess from here, something you said there. So obviously, we're assuming that most teams are going to cover 1 or cover 0. Obviously, drawing them all would be a nightmare, so it's easier to discuss. So if it was cover 0, this safety likely comes down to cover the slot. The linebacker bumps in, and he'll take the running back. So, but in this case, if they go to cover 0, then there is literally nobody over the top. So you have either the fade where there's no help, or the corner where there's no help, anyway, to counteract that. And as you said, if they go to cover 2, they're brave. Um, Against this play, cover two would probably be breaking down anywhere on the field, not just in the red zone. And nobody's really going to be doing cover three in the red zone unless they're really uncomfortable. And if they're doing cover three, they're covering up these deep routes, but this short route's going to be wide open. And I mean, it's a straight shot to the end zone if that's a catch by the linebackers. So I guess from my point of view, obviously having played defense a fair bit, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. So if we're going to have this safety, if pre-read he is cheating across and he realizes on film, right, this guy loves to throw this corner, so he's going to move over this way, and the strong safety here is taking this route, so he's going to cheat over. Now, even if any of these backers drop, this post is going to be horrendously difficult to cover. A linebacker getting back there is difficult. The safety, if he cheats over, him getting back is difficult. And as you said, if he skinnies this and he just runs straight up the field, again, there's no defending this. So from your point of view as a quarterback, it gives a load of different options pre-snap that you can decide where you're wanting to go with the ball before the play's even happening. So this back here, his route is a luxury. This ball should be out and gone before, even if they send any of these linebackers, there is a hole somewhere. If they send the outside linebacker, he's supposed to be man split between the slot and the line. So he's going to struggle. He's going to come in here and he's going to struggle to cover the back, leaving him open. If they send any of these two backers, again, this route here is going to be wide open. If they send the strong safety, they're off their head. So it's a play that opens up a load of different options to the quarterback. And it's really hard to defend from 20 yards out.
I mean, generally, probably the biggest worry you're going to have in a situation like this, assuming you're going to kind of see a man coverage really, is a robber. So if they choose to drop off sort of that middle linebacker and allow your nickel on the left to pick up the back, and it allows that safety to cheat over towards that corner route, again, if it's something they've seen on film, then realistically, you take your 50-50 ball, you take the outside shot, he's going to be one-on-one on the left-hand side. And again, if you've got that cushion, you take the back shoulder. If he's pressing right up, you take the outside and you shoot for the back corner of the end zone. So, you know, there are things to be aware of. There are keys, obviously. You're kind of keying off that safety and the middle linebacker, but there's an answer for everything in the situation here. And that's why I like it.
And as I said, it's called safety first because he is the guy you're reading straight away. If he is showing any signs of coming down, if he's showing any signs of cheating across, it opens up the option either side of the play. I guess you have to be pretty switched on as a quarterback to know this. Like, this isn't just for your average guy. You need to learn this and learn the process of why this is happening. But if you can learn what the defense is doing and read this safety, then it should allow you to choose your route very, very easily.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the important things to stress to any guys who are kind of wanting to play quarterback, or maybe you already do, you know, one of the best things you can do to help yourself on the field, you know, you need to prepare, you need to learn all this stuff, you need to know what you're expecting to see, you know, tendencies. But one of the best things you can do to help yourself here is if you know that is where you want to go with the ball and you want to get the safety moving across the other side, is you need to use your eyes. And what I mean by that is making sure that you look him off to the other direction, you know, keep your eye line on that other side, force him to move to where you want him to be, so that it opens up to the other side. He can only react to what you do, and if he doesn't want to go across, then again he's leaving other options open.
Aye, so basically, don't lock in on your target.
Yeah.
Don't assume that corner route is, I'm going for that. That's it. I'm going to stare this boy down, because any semi-decent, if I'm playing corner there, my first 3 steps backward are watching the quarterback. If he's already staring this guy down, then there is a chance that if he releases it early, I'm just dropping back into help this guy out.
And I think that's one of the main points with the receivers as well, is that what you want from that outside guy is for him to release going straight across. You don't want him to come up and across, because that allows that cornerback to take those few steps. You want to make his mind up as quickly as possible. So if he's curling straight across the field, it forces that DB to make a decision even quicker. So again, it's about manipulating guys to where you want them to be.
Yeah. Right, next play. Okay, we call this quick shot. Now, preferably, you do that. This is drawn as if you were on the right hash. However, obviously, if you're in the left half, you can flip it. This another one is really designed for one read first, and if it isn't there, and then there's plenty more options. So for this one here, we have again spread set, one back, and pre-snap. This slot receiver is going to motion into the backfield. Now, what this does is this linebacker is split between the end of the line and this slot receiver. So he is responsible for this guy. Now, if you move him back in to be in beside the other running back, this linebacker likely either stays where he is and focuses in on him, or he bumps in slightly. Now, if you're on the right hash, this means that between the end of the line and this wide receiver out wide, there is a huge amount of space. So much space that if this is a quick slant, there is no chance that this safety gets to this route. It is going to be so fast that this safety is not going to have a Scooby. And with the flaring of the slot receiver now going out to the right, the running back going to the right, the other 2 routes on the right-hand side, there is a lot going that way that the safety is going to be concerned about. So this play is likely only run when you're close to the goal line, you're maybe 10 yards out, and it is honestly a quick read, boom, you know where it's going. Now, this is assuming that you think this guy can beat this corner. Now, if you've got your best receiver out here on this corner, and this motions in, and the linebacker bumps in, this is an easy throw for any quarterback in our leagues and in the college leagues and the NFL. This is an easy throw. It's a quick read and bang. However, if it does break down and this corner is really good, he's got tight coverage on this guy. Okay, again, you've got other options. So option 1, tight end is going to sneak along here, but between the linebackers and defensive linemen, and he's going to leak out the other side. So he's kind of a last option. You're reading this first. If he's not there, then you're likely going after the tight end from this side, purely because you're looking at this side, right? So if you are a quarterback, you're looking at this side. If this route doesn't come free, you're panning from left to right. So your tight end is going to be the next guy that comes into your vision. So if he is free, if he's run across unchecked, then he's going to be an easy dump off to try and gain the yards. If you were to go the other option, if you come up here and, for instance, this safety goes, I've seen this on film, he jumps across a little bit, then again, you have 2 routes on this side that can make a difference. So that, again, the corner route here really isn't the route you're going for in this play. So this, if anything, is the distraction again. This one will take the strong safety out and should get in the way of this corner coming across to block this quick in. So if you're, say, 20 yards out, okay, likely you don't throw this pass here. But if you're anything 10 and in, this is a quick in. You hit this one, this guy drags the strong safety out, and then it's up to this receiver to then gain yards before this backer can get to him. Now, again, this backer really should be taking the tight end. So he should be following the tight end in a cover 1 or cover 0. So he should be gone. So it should be a case of quick pass straight in here and run up the field. Again, the last option is the flare here. So in this case, I've left the running back in to block anything that, in case they send any blitzers. But really, this one first, if that's not open, tight end's coming across. Okay, if these are cheated over, you're then looking at this right-hand side. And if this drags the strong safety away and this guy's really good, well covered, you then throw the flare and hope that your guy can beat the middle linebacker to the punch. Again, you can flip this over, but this is really for if you are on one hash or the other, because it leaves that gap, that huge gap between your line and your outside receiver, that there is no chance this guy, no matter how good he is, unless he cheats over, there's no way he makes this play.
Yeah, it's worth noting, just obviously we don't have lines on the drawing, but your outside receiver is off the line, just in case anyone decides to try and point that out, with your tight end on the line, because you can't have them both running routes if the tight end's covered. Mm-hmm. But as you say, it's about manipulation. It's about getting people where you want to be. You're dragging the linebacker in, and by flaring the running back across, you're forcing everyone to pull to that right-hand side and giving yourself a window to the left. I guarantee you, if you've watched NFL or college football, or even if you decide to dabble in a little bit of Britball from time to time, you will have seen something like this being run. I will guarantee it, and you will have seen that slant from the field side receiver, and it'll have went for a touchdown. I will guarantee that, absolutely guarantee it.
Yeah, it's an easy read for a quarterback. It's a quick throw. It's an easy throw. It's a high percentage play. Obviously, again, we're assuming that it's cover 1 or cover 0. Even if this was cover 3, it's even easier. If it's cover 2, you can't throw this pass because this safety is going to be bumped over. They're probably going to be jamming this receiver at the line. But again, if this is cover 2, then there are other options open to the quarterback going across here. So again, another quick play that is very simple and quarterback can read really fast, and that slant route is a quick hitter. Right, third play, bit of fun for this one.
Yeah, this one's quite popular, particularly in NFL style circles. It's just a shovel pass. The quarterback loves to take credit for getting a touchdown pass on this one, even though he's done very little. You've got the two outside receivers as more of a clear out, or in case anything goes wrong. But what you're doing here is you want your offensive line, you want them to slide block to the opposite side of the place, to the left-hand side in this. Your fullback, your wing back, your tight end, whatever you want to call them, comes across the formation. The backside guard comes across the formation. The running back flares out to the right. The quarterback rolls out to the right. You want to kind of leave the end man unblocked. And all he's doing is when he bites down on the quarterback running back combination, it's a short shovel pass to the fullback underneath, and the right guard will basically clear a path for anything to go through towards the end zone. Generally, you kind of want to use this one maybe a bit closer in. You don't really want to be using this sort of probably 20 yards out, but it's quite possible if you see something you like. And again, as we said about manipulation all the way through, your two outside guys are there to draw everybody out, draw two guys out, maybe force your free safety to sit a bit deeper. And you're basically overloading your right-hand side. And realistically, it should mean that you have more people blocking than you've got there to make the tackle. And if the outside guy does bite down on the quarterback, then the shovel pass goes to an uncovered man.
Now, this one is a definite scenario where they are likely to go to cover zero. There is, if the free safety is in the middle, the likelihood he makes this two routes from 20 yards out is slim. So he is much better utilised coming down and playing this. But even then, it should matter. When this flow, everything is going to the right. This backers are either going to overflow this way or the linemen are going to clear them out. So that quick pitch inside is just going to allow the fullback just to run right behind these guys and straight into the end zone. So again, it's not a difficult play. You need everybody to block. Probably this guy here, this outside linebacker is basically a non-factor. Unless he is lightning quick and can get to this fullback as he's getting the pitch, then he deserves that tackle. Because that's just unlikely to happen, particularly in our leagues. In the NFL, it might be possible because there's some absolute freak athletes, but really in our league, that's just not going to happen. Again, motion one way, quick pitch inside and just drive it straight up the middle. So again, you're right. The two outside fades are there in case, but really this is you commit to this play and that's it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But really, the way that it's set up, you should have a lot of over pursuing from the defense, and it should allow for a straight up run from the fullback, wingback, whatever you want to call them, straight into the end zone.
I think it's worth noting that although this play is a one read play, that you're going for the shovel pass, you need your halfbacks here, your running backs in the backfield, to be 100% prepared to receive the ball as well. You want to coach them to be prepared to get the ball. For whatever reason, if two guys get through and they're able to take the fullback and the quarterback, the quarterback should have that option to pitch it out to his halfback. But realistically, this play is only going one way.
Yeah. Right, play number 4. Call this one dagger, purely because you need to throw a dagger for this one to work. This is, again, a really fast play. It is not meant for the quarterback to be holding on to the ball. So the primary route for this one is this short route here. So this, again, it can be used for any place inside the red zone, but really from 5 yards out, this is an absolute belter of a play. Because there's a lot of misdirection, and this play here tends to sit right in an empty zone where it's relying on the middle linebacker to come and get him. Now, if your tailback is going this way, then your quarterback can take his eyes fixed on that middle linebacker until this guy is in position, and you'll still be able to see them both. So the middle linebacker is going to be watching your running back. If your quarterback is staring him down, he is not going to be looking outside to this route here immediately. And by the time he does, this route's going to be done. So that's your primary route. Now, so we have obviously other options here. Again, for starter, tight end. So this tight end, this time is going to spread out. So you've got trips on the right-hand side. And he's going to just go a quick out. And the reason for that is it's going to draw this linebacker out. So it's going to draw him out of the space that this guy is coming into. So the tight end's going to come up quick out. This guy is going to come in. And as this linebacker moves, he's just going to settle in that spot. And you just drill a pass to him. Now, again, in case it happens, They decide to go cover 0. This guy comes down and he sits right over this spot. Okay. That is leaving your cornerback on an absolute island to cover this route. This is not, for a cornerback doing cover 1, that is not an easy route to cover. With everything moving, this coming outside, and this being a straight releasing as a massive drag into the center of the field, that if that guy comes down, that is going to be wide open in the end zone. So there are other options. Same with the other side. If you come up and they overload on this side, they try and cover everything on your right hand side, then you also have an option of an in here. As you've said before, the running back doesn't have to block. He can run a route. He can go up, pretend to block, run out, catch a pass if need be. But really, you want him in case they send blitzers. Now, in this case, the likelihood is that they don't send blitzers from this side. They're going to send blitzers from the weak side, most likely. So this guy's going to be he's going to be coming, so he comes into block. If this guy comes, then this shot is definitely on because it's relying on this safety to come and get him. And if this guy comes, then you've got all sorts of options on this side to go for. So again, it is up to the quarterback to read this. However, if it is cover 1, that guy has no option but to take that tight end. If he doesn't, his coach chews him out on the sideline. So this guy here has to move. As soon as he moves, this guy has to just sneak in behind him, and that is an absolute dagger of a throw. And it is not far, only a 5 to 7 yard throw. Absolute dagger in there. And then if you're close in, it's a touchdown. If not, it's up to this guy to then catch the ball, turn up field, and make something of it. But
yeah, I think. Sorry.
That's right. I was just to say, I guess even from someone who's also played slot, is that even if I catch this ball and I've got a couple of yards behind me, I maybe don't even turn around. I maybe catch this ball and just backpedal as far as I can because I know this boy's coming. So it's just a quick option.
Yeah, I think, as you said, it's important that receiver in the slot sits down. You don't want him to start drifting across because he'll be going into other linebackers in the safety, and that's when he leaves the field in the back of an ambulance. Once he gets into that gap, it's sitting down. Again, with your outside guy on the right-hand side, it's making sure that if nothing immediately comes free, keep going right across the formation, all the way across, so you're almost ending up at the opposite side corner. If things break down, if things don't immediately become free, you can drift across and look to get the ball at the backside of the play. But as you kind of said, that primary read is that slot man on the right-hand side, making sure he sits down in that hole and if need be, falling backwards.
Now, I have seen it. I've seen it. The Texans use this. The tight end just goes in and sits here. So he just dives straight in here and I've gone forward one. I can't go back. But I can't. So the tight end just dives in and sits here. Now, the reason I don't like that as much, and it does work, but the reason I don't like that one as much is then this guy should be reading this tight end anyway. So this guy comes straight inside. He should be closing this down, and then it means that you're getting this guy and potentially this backer ready to hit this guy, and it's just clouding out an area that doesn't need it. So this tight end clearing out allows for this space for this slot guy just to sneak in, and the likelihood is he's going to sneak in here. This backer is going to move across and get in the way of the strong safety, and it's going to be such a quick completion. Right, last one of your favourites.
Yeah, well, it kind of depends who you speak to, what you call this one.
If it's Bill Belichick, it's a cheat.
It's a rub play. Defense call it a pick play, and officials call it depending on what happens. It's one of these plays you'll have seen it used 100 times in the red zone. It's more for particularly down near the goal line. Although the outside receiver on the left and the slot receiver are running slants, that's not particularly what you necessarily want them to run. Basically, their job is to get in the way. Now, when I say get in the way, they must, under no uncertain circumstances, initiate contact with the defender, but their job is to get in the way of the man covering the inside receiver on his little sort of banana route to the outside. Basically causing a bit of a cluster and allowing him to get that spare yard and a half that'll get him into the end zone. Again, like we spoke about with most things, you've got a slant on the backside. With having trips on the left-hand side, you're going to get that more cheating over to that side. So you do have that sort of check down on the back end. Your running back, again, he can block or he can flare out. It's entirely up to you. But realistically, this is an immediate throw. As soon as the inside receiver goes out the way, your slot receiver wants to turn and face the quarterback and get in the way, and the ball has to be out quick. If you leave this one too late and the throw's too late and it's not on time, then this could be going the other way for 6 in a hurry.
Yeah, and you know this, we've marked this as tight end, right? But really, this doesn't have to be the tight end. This should just be a third receiver. And we've run this numerous times for touchdowns. So I've personally run this for a touchdown where I've not even needed the rub. I've took one step inside. This linebacker's went, took a step inside, and it's just left me absolutely wide open for a quick pass to the outside. There's no way these guys are coming back up to close unless they're sitting in zone, and they're not going to be within the red zone. So this is, you're right, this creates this rub where these receivers get in the way of this guy. But sometimes if this is a fast receiver, it's just no chance for this guy to get to him. And a quick step outside and release, and this pass can be out in a second and a half, and it's a touchdown or a first down or a gain. So it gives you options. I mean, if they, again, we're looking at options here, but if this safety comes down, if they totally overload on this trip side, you take the slant one-on-one and there's nobody there. But really, you shouldn't have to. This play is so fast that if you execute it properly, that third receiver or tight end is going to be laughing. And I said, we've done this numerous times between us where I've ended up in the end zone. So you know fine well this one works absolutely perfectly. So again, preferably inside the 10, you're wanting this one to get in the end zone. However, again, if you're needing a first down inside the red zone, or you're, again, this may get a proper rub play. He may catch this and be able to turn up field before he gets tackled. So there is loads of different options here that should allow for the quarterback to succeed here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is worth noting with all these plays, we're kind of looking at it from sort of that man coverage, cover zero kind of look, which is generally what you'd expect in the red zone. You're not always going to get that. There's going to be teams that mix it up. There's going to be teams that do not like to come out of their base no matter what they're in. The kind of flip side to that is what you were doing beforehand will still work in the red zone. These are kind of specifically looking at that kind of cover one, cover zero, tight window looks. It's also worth noting that these are kind of our 5 favorite pass plays in this situation. Realistically, if I get down to the 2-yard line, I am sending on my 10 biggest players, putting them on the line and saying, right, can you stop us from going 2 yards in 4 plays and just running the ball straight up the middle? I love my jumbo package. I love letting the big guys score in that zone. But for in the red zone, these are some of the pass plays you really want to look to turn to kind of beat that sort of the tight man coverage.
And you're right there, because we won a championship on the back of sending the 10 biggest boys on the field and running it behind them. So you're right. I mean, we are basing it on the fact that it comes to coverage, but we have looked, I mean, we have analysed so many teams over the years. All teams that we were playing or teams that we just fancy doing because we thought they were interesting. And most of them will have a base coverage or they'll change coverage all the time. But once you get to the red zone, most of them, not all, will tighten up into man-on-man formations to try and force you to get the ball out fast with blitzes. Because if you're on the 50-yard line, they can afford to leave you a bit longer in the pocket to see if the play develops. If you're on the 20, then the plays can come off much quicker and gain you the touchdown, and there's nothing they can do about it. So it's an interesting concept. But what we will do, so as I said, obviously our show won't start again until the British American football season kicks off. So what we will do is we'll continue doing these. So we'll do some on how to beat different coverages. We'll do some on or maybe on some defensive plays to cover those plays, and hopefully it'll provide a bit of information to everybody going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think a bit of, if you've got anything you'd kind of like to see, anything you like to kind of go through, then let us know. Also, if you've got any sort of your favorite red zone plays, hit us up, let us know. We always like to take a look. If you want to speak through them with us as well, then we're happy enough to do that as well. Ultimately, American football is a copycat sport. All these plays and designs have come from somewhere. We're not sitting here claiming that we're the original creators of any of these. Everything's tweaked and designed in your own way. So the idea is sharing some of that with you guys, and hopefully it can help you improve in your red zone as well.
And also, on the other flip side, if you think we're speaking absolute rubbish, then feel free to call us out and have a discussion with us about it. So we've looked at plays that have worked for us or have worked for teams that we've watched. So we know these plays work. We've seen them time and time again over the years. But again, if you want to discuss it with us, then let us know. Thank you very much, and we'll bring you some more soon.
Thanks.